Hey everybody, Tim Warlow with the Countdown Realty Team. I just wanted to chat real quick. I just purchased a home in Boerne and I'm super excited to get started on the project. I know some of you guys like to follow the projects that I do in terms of the renovations that I've done and the kind of outcomes with that. And you know, every time we do a project, it's a little bit different. And this time around, it's great because I'm doing what I'm calling, or have called for a while, the 5-year flip. Some of you may be aware, some of you might not be aware, but if you own a property as your primary residence and you live there for 2 out of 5 years, you can write off expenses and rent it out for 3 years. And then you can sell that property without paying capital gains taxes. So there's a method out there called the 2-year flip, and a lot of people, the reason they don't do this is because they don't like moving every 2 years. But in my opinion, this is one of the best ways you can capture equity and not have to pay the government for, you know, capital gains taxes on something that you lived in. That's what I'm doing with this property right now, the one on 120 Dawn Drive, and some of you may have seen some of the pictures on it. I am super excited about this project though, because there's a really good opportunity. Like, what I love to do the most is walk through a house, see the bones and see the layout of the house, and find something unique about that property and highlight it. So this home, as you walk in, it was very dated. It had carpet everywhere, had a hallway, and had just like some old, you know, dated everything. It had some cracks in the walls as well, from some settling issues. And the big thing about it was that as you walk through the living room and into the second living room, the whole house just felt totally different. A huge change in the energy, the light that was coming in from every direction. The ceilings are 18 feet tall, with a even taller, like, in middle part to the interior. Huge picture windows, which I love. Just a great view of the big backyard, and a really closed off, like, kitchen, but a good size. And so I had a vision of opening up the wall between those two areas, opening up the wall into the kitchen so that you can see and utilize it as an island. The two things that I can't change about the house are the sizes of the bedrooms and the bathrooms. The bathrooms are a little bit smaller, but there is a separate office with a third full bathroom. And I'll tell you, I mean, basically my strategy on purchasing it was, the house was listed at $289,000, and for the dating on it, I wasn't, obviously that's, in my opinion, that was just too much. That would be like closer to retail if everything had been updated. But here's the thing, just 1 year before, they had done the roof, the AC, the water heater. So all of those things were practically brand new, and it had gas appliances, so I knew utility bills would be lower. But for the roof, AC, and the water heater, you're looking at somewhere around $20,000 to do all of those brand new. Well, $15,000, just depending on the size of the roof. And I saw that as a huge bonus, but I came in very low with my first offer, around $210,000, and found out through the first part of the negotiation that it was an estate. It was now being handled by the people who inherited the estate from their mother, and they apparently didn't like each other too much. So one person was very motivated to get rid of it, not have to deal with it anymore, while the other two were more sentimental. So they counter offered at $265,000, and I waited about a day to come back and give them another counter offer of $230,000. And then they came back again to, $250,000, and I was like, I waited another day, came back to the property a second time, walked through it again, kind of kept them on pins and needles. And when they finally reached out to me, I sent a long email that explained why I was making the offer that I was making, and some of the other homes. The good thing is that I'm a real estate agent, so some of the other homes in the area I was showing to buyers that were similar price, although different features, different floor plans and things like that. But I could show where we were under contract on some other homes and let them know, like, that's where the market value really was. So I wrote them an email about that, about the dating on the property. I did tell them that I fully appreciated that the owner had maintained it really well and that there were some new things, but that the most I would be willing to pay would be $240,000. So they took $240,000, went under contract. I did take my option period down from 10 days to just 3 days because I knew I could get my inspector in there and I knew my contractor could walk the property with me. I took my financing contingency because I was approved down to 21 days and set the closing date for 30 days out. And I had already done all my upfront work and I had my money ready, had everything like ready to go. So finally I did another walkthrough and I came back again and asked for the price to be reduced to $230,000, which didn't make them very happy, but I had some reasoning to do it. I noticed some additional cracks in the walls, and some settling that just was a little bit more than average, and so I used that and they came down to $235,000. So I got the house for $235,000. I'm going to be completely renovating the kitchen, the 2 bathrooms, all the flooring throughout the entire house, and painting the exterior. And I might put a pool in just for fun, but because I'm going to live there for a while, and I think pools values are going up with the coronavirus and everything like that. So I see that having a better impact long term. I anticipate putting in about $20,000 to $25,000 for those repairs, which puts me all in at around $255,000 to $260,000. The comps on the appraisal for the homes that they used that were towards the end of the appraisal, which had higher values, those came in closer to like $320,000, $330,000. So right off the bat, if my home would appraise 1,900 square feet, 2-car, and almost a third of an acre lot, right in the middle of Boerne, I think that I can get an appraisal of around $300,000 to $315,000 after I do my work. So with all-in cost at $260,000, I can probably refinance out, cash out refi within a year to get the money back that I had put in and live there essentially for free. The best part about being a real estate agent is that I paid 5% down for this property, got 2.85% interest. I do have pretty good credit. I'm in like close to 800, 775, and that helps a lot right now. If you have credit over 700 or even 680, you're getting really, really good interest rates. So my monthly payment for this house right now is $1,390 a month. Like I said, I put 5% down, but I got 3% back in commission. I will be putting cash into the property, $20,000 to $25,000, and refinancing, and so my payment might be a little bit higher. After 5 years, if I was at 20% loan to value, my mortgage payment would only be about $1,250, and that's incredible right now. So I have another house in Boerne that's a rental, and I paid $250 for that. I've put in $20 into the repairs, and the loan value right now is $230. The appraisal for that home came in like the $270 range, so I couldn't refinance the 20% out, but I was able to. I will be able to probably by the end of the year with home values going the way they are. That mortgage payment is $1,750 a month, and that has a similar value. So $1,750 versus $1,390 is such a huge difference. And some of that is taxes, insurance, everything like that. But at the end of the day, the interest rates right now, because the other home that I own is at a 4.25, this is at a 2.85. The other interest, the interest makes up a couple $100 a month in the payment. So right now, if you are thinking about doing what I'm doing, where you buy a house, live in it for 2 years, rent it out for 3 or more, if you come back to it and you've lived there 2 out of 5 years, you can sell it without paying capital gains. The way the market is going in Boerne, I honestly, I look at other parts of the country as a model. So when you have really extensive growth in a community like San Antonio, even though we have just space to expand and space to grow, I think that the value of a town like Boerne is exponential in terms of what other home values will appreciate for, because you can add homes, you can add density to San Antonio, but you can't change the convenience of Boerne. You can't adapt San Antonio's market to have the same kind of like uniqueness and charm that Boerne has. So I see our values continuing to increase more than other communities. You can compare it to cities like Falls Church or Arlington or like these other smaller communities outside of DC, where as it got too expensive to live in the city, people started moving outside of that, and the suburban values just skyrocketed. And so people that I've known that have lived in other areas that are similar to San Antonio have seen huge increases in growth of their homes. And I honestly would not be surprised if we saw a 7 to 10% increase average per year over the next 10 years. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm pretty bullish on real estate in the Boerne area. Very bullish in San Antonio. So if you guys have any questions about investing, how you can get into it, how you can get qualified, give me a shout. I'd be happy to walk you through everything that I did. The only thing I didn't even talk about was that I anticipate when I refinance $1,250 a month for my house, taxes will probably go up, so $1,250, $1,300. I think I can get $1,750, $1,800 pretty easily on this house. So this will have a positive cash flow of close to $500 a month. If you guys are curious how to do it, just let me know. I am happy to help. It's something I do all the time. So reach out, give me a shout, and have a good day.